Tonight, a highway expansion shifts into higher gear.
This for sure will feel annoying for the next year, but in the long term, it will really serve us well.
The closures and changes on the way in a busy part of Kitchener. Another fire linked to a lithium battery.
It was terrible. The third floor got filled with smoke. It was quite a mess.
A shelter in Cambridge becomes the latest flashpoint for a growing problem. Back in business.
It's a beautiful reaction, beautiful feeling at this moment. Probably couldn't come at the right time, better time.
A Waterloo sports facility rises from the ashes of a destructive fire. Good evening. We begin with a big shift for drivers in a busy part of Kitchener. The demolition of the Frederick Street Bridge began today, and it's a major step toward the expansion of Highway 7. CTV's Jeff Pickle joining us live now along Frederick Street with everything we need to know about these changes, and certainly a lot on the way, Jeff.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. And as many of our viewers will be aware that this project, this Highway 7 expansion project has been around, been talked about and planned for many years. And as part of that project, the Frederick Street Bridge actually has to come down so they can widen the road for those on and off ramps at Bruce and Edna Streets. It's a major street now closed for cross-city travel.
So we're looking at this bridge being closed for about a year, if all goes well.
Monday morning, Frederick Street closed from Edna to Ann Street as the MTO works to replace the bridge. According to the region, the year-long closure will also come with a year of lane closures on the expressway.
This for sure will feel annoying for the next year, but in the long term, it will really serve us well.
The actual bridge demolition will take place this weekend, meaning a full closure of the expressway starting 10 p.m. Saturday night and remaining completely closed until Sunday at noon. For businesses nearby, the closure coming is no surprise.
We knew this was coming. And the team from the city of Kitchener has done us well. We've had good communication with them, and we hope to continue that with the folks on the MTO. Henry Walser Funeral Home sits just feet from the Frederick Street Bridge. He says they are communicating with families to make sure everyone is aware of the situation. We've prepared, and on our website we've got directions how to get to the funeral home, and it's about, I just took the drive a few minutes ago, and it's about a 2 or 3 minute detour. A short detour for those who drive.
Okay, I use it every day from Monday to Friday. So because I have to take the bus to go to the school.
For those who walk across the bridge, it's a major hurdle.
Maybe I have to take that the other way, but it will be very long for me. A
year-long headache for many, but the city, region, and province say the Highway 7 expansion is worth it.
So I know that there's about 17,000 people that commute from Kitchener to Guelph and Guelph to Kitchener every day, and so we need to really open up that corridor.
And again, that major closure coming up to be aware of. The expressway will be closed. That's starting at 10 p.m. Saturday night, and it won't begin to reopen until Sunday at noon, and then fully reopen Sunday evening at 6 p.m. So that will definitely be a cause of some major delays coming up this weekend. Tony?
Yeah, that's important heads up for the weekend. Jeff, appreciate it. CTV's Jeff Pickle along Frederick Street in Kitchener. A fire that forced around 100 people out of a shelter in Cambridge yesterday is being blamed on a battery in an e-bike. The situation set off a safety warning about a kind of hazard that's become very common. Here's CTV's Hannah Schmidt.
It was like, get out, get out, get out. So everybody came out, not knowing what's going on.
It was an early morning scare at the Bridges shelter in Cambridge when an overheating e-bike battery forced a full evacuation.
All of a sudden it's like 9 fire trucks, 45 firemen, 2 ambulances, 9 cruisers just showed up.
5 fire stations, regional paramedics, and police responded around 12:40 a.m. after smoke filled the 2nd and 3rd floors of the building.
It was terrible. The 3rd floor got filled with smoke. It was quite a mess.
Damage was very minor, being in a stairwell that there was low combustibles. The lithium battery was the cause of that fire, and it had fully evolved and It had fully evolved into thermal runaway, and upon self-extinguishing itself, for the most part, a fire extinguisher was used to fully extinguish the fire.
Grand River Transit buses were brought in to keep residents warm while crews cleared the smoke. Fire officials say no one was hurt.
So it very well could have been a close call, but quick actions by the occupants, hearing the sound and realizing that that battery was realizing that there was something wrong with the battery, and to remove it from the apartment itself.
A spokesperson for the Cambridge Shelter Corporation says with about 80 shelter residents and 16 apartment tenants, safety is critical.
We did get everyone out. They went safely. No one was hurt. A few people got quite cold until they brought the buses, but they brought them in a pretty timely manner.
Meantime, the Office of the Ontario Fire Marshal adds a broader warning as lithium-ion battery fires become more common.
This year to date, we're up to 120. And that comes with the fact that a lot more of the devices in our homes are powered by lithium-ion batteries. We are seeing a significant increase in fires when they aren't used properly, when they aren't charged properly, when they aren't stored properly.
The OFM suggests following labeled charge times and not go over, to use only certified batteries, never improvise makeshift batteries, and always dispose of batteries at designated sites. Local fire officials say this latest incident was a close call and could have been much worse. They're reminding the public to take battery safety seriously ahead of the holiday season. Hannah Schmidt, CTV News, Cambridge.
A Waterloo sports facility that was gutted by fire 2 years ago has risen from the ashes. The fire at the Greystone Racquet Club on Northfield Drive left members scrambling to find a place to play. Today, the doors reopened. CTV's Spencer Turcotte was there to speak with the new owners and members, old and new. Spencer, people definitely ready to get back to that facility.
Well, despite being shuttered for 2 years, the parking lot was packed by midday, as were all the courts inside for the first day back. This Waterloo Racquet Club has come a long way from being on fire.
I got it.
Its members are now back to scoring in fancy ways, on fire in a less literal sense.
It was heartbreaking because this is a second home to a lot of us, and so we were homeless for a little while.
On December 8th, 2023, the Greystone Racquet Club, previously known as the Northfield Racquet Club, went up in flames. But after nearly 2 years and upwards of $11 million in renovations and repairs, the club reopened Monday morning with new owners and a new name, the Club at Northfield.
A lot of the core amenities are the same, like the squash courts, the pickleball, the tennis. There's a few other changes. Reformer Pilates has a space in the building. Black Knight has an office space and showroom here, which is a Canadian racket company. And Waterloo Sports Medicine has a clinic on site.
People did find places to play while the club was closed. It meant some were without jobs, happy to be back now.
When you dedicate yourself to a place that you love, it means a lot to you. You feel very sad.
Fast forward and the feelings of sadness have disappeared.
It's a beautiful reaction, beautiful feeling at this moment. Probably couldn't come at the right time, better time, before Christmas.
Something felt by members too, given how many have signed up. The club already has more than 1,000 members, and they plan to cap it at 1,500.
Just to see people connecting once again, it was just unreal. Like, it made me so happy to see the community back.
You can register in person or online, with membership starting at $145 a month. But for people like 20-year member Pat Runstedler, it's something you can't put a price on.
It has become more than just a club, a family for me, and I encourage those people that are still looking around to entertain the thought of joining us here. We're having a lot of fun.
And the club also has a fitness and spin studio, and they plan to phase in memberships for kids. So while the building was only a shell of itself not long ago, they hope to grow the business like never before. Tony.
That's a great update to that story. Spencer, thanks a lot. CTV Spencer Turcotte live with us. And time now for a first look at the weather. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon in studio on weather duties tonight. Good to see you back in studio again.
Good to be back, Tony. It's been a little while since I've done the weather desk, but The season of change. We're
Sure is.
December 1st. As we all saw last week, lots and lots of snow fell starting on Friday. And certainly we are going to continue to see a bit of precipitation over the next 24 hours or so, but not nearly as much as we saw over the weekend. Certainly want to keep those shovels handy. As we take a look at our satellite, you can see there is just a band of cloud cover at the moment. Now that is going to translate into a little bit of precipitation through the evening. I'll have details on how much we'll receive in a little later in the show. But right now, we're looking at a -5 for Kitchener-Waterloo, so it is feeling cooler. Right now, our average for this time of year is around the -2 mark for overnights, and we will get even colder overnight, so you definitely want to bundle up, Tony. But the good news is, sun is on the way. I'll have those details a little later in the show.
Okay, Ash, thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. At Queen's Park today, opposition leaders grilled the government over the Skills Development Fund. They're demanding answers about a claim that one of the beneficiaries of the multi-million-dollar government grant has a dental practice that treats the Ford family. CTV's John Woodward has more.
So my question to the Premier is, did he give $2 million of government funding to his personal and family dentist?
Speaker, Premier's already said that's incorrect, Speaker.
A raucous question period at the Ontario Legislature Monday morning focused on a $2.5 billion jobs training fund. One recipient of $2 million, a company belonging to the principal dentist of JM Dental, which said on its website, "We want you to feel as comfortable and relaxed as the Ford family has during their visits with us." The Premier denied that he goes there. Photos show them together. But all of it sparked jokes from opposition benches.
Trying to get an answer out of this government on anything to do with Skills Development Fund is like, it's worse than a root canal. And I've had quite a few.
I will say, I think the Premier is really putting his money where his mouth is.
This is just the latest recipient of the Skills Development Fund to have their connections to the Doug Ford government examined in the wake of a scathing Auditor General report that found that political staff overruled bureaucrats about where the money was going more than half the time. That money, for example, going to major PC party donors. One recipient got money despite a forensic audit that is now being investigated by the OPP. Almost $10 million went to a nonprofit operating out of a venue licensed as an adult entertainment club.
$10 million is a lot of money.
Opposition MPPs questioning bureaucrats in a committee room Monday afternoon, learning even with this scandal, the approvals for the next round of grants will still be done by the minister.
Just to be clear, it will still be the minister who decides who gets what funding. Is that correct?
So the way that the SDF is designed is that the staff provide their information and the minister decides.
So that's not changing.
As for that dentist, days after we visited their office in person, an executive said they had no comment. But that claim about the Ford family has now been removed from their website. John Woodward, CTV News.
Feed Ontario has released its 2025 hunger report, warning that the province is dealing with a strained healthcare system, increased homelessness, and community instability. CTV's Mike Walker takes a closer look at the numbers.
See that there's a lot of shelf space that's full.
But the warehouse is full at the North York Harvest Food Bank, but within a day, nearly all this food will be distributed.
So we're seeing here in Toronto almost 3 times as many visits to food banks as we saw 5 years ago before the pandemic.
The executive director says the 40 agencies they serve are experiencing unprecedented demand.
We were never designed to deal with the level of crisis that we are seeing now.
Food banks across Ontario are seeing a staggering increase for the 9th year in a row. According to the latest Feed Ontario Hunger Report, more than 1 million Ontarians relied on food banks between April 2024 and March 2025. With 8.7 million visits, that is a 13% increase year over year.
We're very concerned. What we're seeing is really a deepening of poverty with the affordability crisis growing.
While the number of new clients was down, the report found many are turning to food banks for longer periods. 1 in 3 clients are children under 18 and people with disabilities, and 1 in 4 are employed, like Volodymyr Kravchuk, who fled the war in Ukraine with his family 2 years ago.
Almost every week or every 2 weeks I try to visit it.
He's an outreach worker for a nonprofit, but says his monthly income is consumed by housing costs.
The whole salary is just coming to pay the rent for the flat. But I still have 2 kids, I still have a wife, and what my wife is earning is not enough to buy enough food for kids.
Given the increasing demand, 2 in 3 food banks are concerned they won't be able to keep their doors open over the next 6 months. Feed Ontario warning the spike in visits will have broader impacts on access to housing and healthcare services.
But if we can't provide the level of support that they need, then we're going to see some of the province's most pressing issues get worse.
They are calling on governments to implement policies to reduce poverty.
We'll work through that strain and we'll use that as inspiration to advocate even louder so that we build affordable housing, so that we make sure that people on disability are taken care of, and that we start to set up a reduction in precarious employment.
At this rate, food banks fear the trend will only get worse. Mike Walker, CTV News.
Start your day in the know with the CTV Kitchener newsletter. We've got the latest headlines, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos. It's all there right to your inbox every morning. Head over to our website to sign up. That's ctvnewskitchener.ca. This year's flu season could hit harder. Coming up, new data on the illnesses now making the rounds and why health officials say they could pack a harder punch this winter.
I'm Krista Simpson with more about a charter challenge brought by a parent at a Kitchener school. Why he wants a court to weigh in on whether the Waterloo Region District School Board can require land acknowledgements at school council meetings. That story is just ahead.
Boots, scarves, mittens, you'll need the works overnight as temperatures continue to dip below seasonal through the evening and into tomorrow morning. And a little bit of snow ahead as well. I'll have those details coming up.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
We're hearing tonight from the parent who's asking the courts to review whether the Waterloo Region District School Board can require land acknowledgements to open its school council meetings. Jeffrey Horseman says it should be a topic that can be discussed by members of the school council, but he's been told that's not allowed. CTV's Krista Simpson is here now with more on this tonight. Krista.
Well, Tony, we first brought you this story last week. A parent who's part of the school council at a Kitchener high school and doesn't believe the board should be able to mandate what's on the agenda at meetings of what's supposed to be an arm's length advisory group.
And I was told that, well, we can't really even have a discussion about this because it could be a violation of human rights to even discuss it.
Jeff Horseman says he first raised questions about land acknowledgements at school council meetings early this year. Horseman is a father of 3 and member of the school council, sometimes called a parent council, at Kitchener Waterloo Collegiate and Vocational School. He asked to put the matter on the agenda for discussion and was told it could not be by the council chair, then the school principal, and then the school board's system administrator of equity and inclusive education. That's why he's now turning to the courts.
I thought this can't really be that parents and taxpayers who fund a board are supposed to sit through political statements or recitations of this sort, and we cannot express any dissent and no discussion is permitted. I don't think this is how a free society should operate, and it's not good for an education system for our children.
Horseman is asking for a judicial review, arguing the board mandating land acknowledgements for school councils is outside of its jurisdiction, as the group is supposed to be an arm's length advisory body.
I think that's something that this pushback can help remind them of what that council is for.
The Waterloo Region District School Board has declined to comment on this situation as it is before the courts. The court documents prepared in this case quote the school board administrator as telling Horseman discussions that question or challenge established equity-focused practices, including territorial acknowledgements, fall outside the scope of school council business. These expectations are in place to ensure that all participants experience school council as a safe, respectful and inclusive space.
We have all sorts of codes of conduct, and I think often they're used, to make people a little wary of stepping out of line. I think they're speech suppression tools, in my opinion, a lot of these codes of conduct.
Horstman and his lawyer would like to see a judge overturn the school board's mandate, leaving decisions on what to do up to school councils instead.
This legal action is in its early stages, and it could be many months before it's heard in a courtroom. Tony.
Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson with that report. Cold and flu season has hit Canada, and cases are spiking in many areas. Health practitioners are bracing for what could be a bad influenza season. Let's check in with CTV's Scott Hurst in our national newsroom for more.
Influenza is beginning to surge in Canada, with the calendar flipping to a new month and the winter weather settling in. It is a sure sign that cold and flu season is coming along with it. And the numbers are already starting to back that up. According to the latest national surveillance data from Health Canada, cases are trending upwards. Influenza detections topped 2,100 in the past week of reporting, up from fewer than 1,400 the week before, putting the percentage of positive tests up to 8.1%. Now, there have been warnings that this year's flu vaccine may not be as strong of a match compared to previous years. The current vaccine does, in fact, target some of the strains circulating in Canada, but the World Health Organization has reported recent changes and mutations to the H3N2 strain, and that is why there is a mismatch in at least one of the strains targeted by the vaccine. However, the best advice, according to medical experts, is that it can still guard against the development of severe illness. Here's more from Dr. Christopher Labos on the importance of getting the vaccine.
Even when the vaccine is not a perfect match for the circulating strains, it does still provide a fairly good degree of protection. Worth remembering that things don't have to be perfect in order to be useful, and the influenza vaccine, even when it's not perfect, is still pretty useful because it's giving you the coverage against 3 of the most likely circulating strains.
The warning of a potentially bad flu year has hospital staff bracing for what could be an intense influenza season. Coupled with cases of RSV and COVID, it could mean a wave of respiratory illnesses that put added strain on an already burdened healthcare system. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Taking a live look outside now at uptown Waterloo. We've had a pretty calm day weather-wise when you compare it to the last 4 or 5 days. What's the rest of the week looking like? It's certainly feeling colder out there today. Ashley's back with our weather details in just a few minutes. And also ahead, the traditional skill of woodworking alive and well. We'll visit a hub of craftsmanship and creativity in Kitchener, coming up on this week's edition of Made Right Here. And next, after losing a member of his cabinet after announcing a deal that could pave the way for a new pipeline, the Prime Minister gives his inner circle a bit of a shuffle today. Sounds nice.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You caught us in a moment. We were talking about vacations to warm places.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do a little holiday, or I guess it would be a holiday in the new year, but you know.
Sounds good.
For the time being, Tony, it's a winter wonderland here in the region.
You know, I used to get down to California many winters, yes. And I stopped during COVID, and then I never started again. And now I'm thinking, I've got to restart that again because I'm already feeling the need for some warmer weather.
I don't mind the snow, but when it's cloudy for an extended period of time, I miss that sunshine a little bit. But good news is, the sun might be coming back a little later.
And that's good. And I'm probably just feeling this way because winter has hit us especially early this year.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, let's take a look outside here at the Grand River Hospital. And certainly you can see there, Tony, it is already dark out. That sun setting well before 5 p.m. now. So it is well and truly set by this time in the evening. The nice thing is, though, as you can see, there's no precipitation falling at the moment, but that is likely to change within the next few hours. The good news is, though, we're not going to see nearly as much as we saw over the last 48 to 72 hours. Looking at our futurecast, as we push through this evening, this is the band of precipitation I'm talking about. By 1 a.m., we're going to see a little bit of flurry activity, certainly that cloud cover continuing. However, by tomorrow, that's going to clear out. So we will see a little bit more over the next few days, certainly some blowing snow accompanied by it, but not the accumulation that we've been seeing. Cloud cover continuing into Wednesday before we may see some snow later in the week. As for accumulation, 5 centimeters or so. So again, not a lot, not what we've seen, but you will still need to brush off your cars, keep those shovels handy just in case. As we take a look at our almanac, our regular high this time of year is 2 degrees. It's feeling much cooler, so that's the other side of the story today. Cooler temperatures continuing today, a high of just -3, overnight lows of -7, but feeling closer to -10. There is going to feel a bit of about a wind chill of about -10, as I mentioned. So it's not as windy as we saw over the weekend, but it will still pick up. Again, sun setting earlier and earlier, and we'll continue to do so for another few weeks before that changes over and we'll start to see a little bit more daylight pop into our occasion. Overnight conditions, periods of snow, so if you're out on the roads at all, make sure you do take care. Drive safely in the conditions depending on what it's like. As we get into tomorrow, periods of snow will continue, especially for the morning before it clears out in the afternoon. That temperature sitting at 0, that means that could swap over to slush or rain in some parts. And with that temperature decreasing throughout the day and into tomorrow evening, that could, of course, turn into ice. So if you are out and about, or if you've got walkways or driveways, you might want to get some salt down just as a preparation in case. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast starting in Waterloo region, you can see those flurries continuing into Wednesday, a high of just -2. Thursday, though, Tony, that sun might make an appearance. So get that vitamin D while you can. Get out for a nice walk. Although temperatures are cool, you will want to bundle up. That sun continuing for Friday before the clouds roll back in on the weekend. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions for your Tuesday. Cloudy on Wednesday. That sun make an appearance by the end of your work week with a high of just -1 on Friday. And finally, in southern Georgian Bay, periods of snow for your Wednesday, a high of -3. -5 for both Thursday and Friday, and that snow returning just in time for Saturday. Okay, let's take a look at our Weather Watcher photo. Now, I think this is just too cool. It's brought to you by Matt Morris, who used all the snow in Waterloo region, which we received over the last few days, to build this amazing sculpture. He said the owl stands around 7 feet tall, and it's just here in Waterloo. So very cool and very creative. I don't have the patience or the talent to try and do that. But
Matt Morris is something of a local legend around here when it comes to snow sculpting. He does these incredible sculptures every year in front of his home, and that one's no exception.
It's fantastic, and what a way to start the season. December 1st, you know, getting a little bit of a snowman action.
Well, thank you for reminding us of the upside of winter. And
I tried.
Thanks for mentioning about slippery surfaces too, because I got to tell you, I discovered that today. I did one of those, you know, you're walking along and you slip and then you suddenly correct yourself and you hope nobody saw, and then you do it again and again.
Well, you got to be careful because that's how you can really hurt your back.
100%. And some of those surfaces, if they're not treated because of that freeze we had, are pretty dangerous.
Yes, so tomorrow evening, you know, we'll go over that again tomorrow, I'm sure, but, you know, definitely be cautious tomorrow.
Something to keep in mind. Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, looking at some national news now. In Ottawa, a minor cabinet shuffle from Prime Minister Mark Carney today. It became necessary after Stephen Guilbeault resigned last week over a disagreement in climate policy. The Prime Minister brought back a familiar face from the Trudeau era. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
The Prime Minister has decided to divide Stephen Guilbeault's previous responsibilities between 3 ministers. The biggest surprise was the return of a new old face. Mark Miller is returning to the inner circle after being dropped from cabinet after Mark Carney's election. Miller was a loyal supporter of Justin Trudeau, but has now been appointed Minister of Canadian Culture and Identity, as well as the minister responsible for official languages.
So it feels great. I am a guy that likes to be busy. And so, you know, I was a little restless, but it's nice to get the opportunity to keep on doing some amazing work and contributing to Canada like For the reasons that I got into politics, because I love my country.
Current Minister for Transformation of the Public Service and Procurement, Joel Lightbound, takes on the additional role of Quebec Lieutenant. Here's what he said after he was sworn in.
I'll just say that I'm honored by the trust bestowed on me by the Prime Minister. It's an important role in federal politics and in Quebec politics, and I look forward to getting to it.
Also, the current Minister of the Environment and Climate Change, Julie DeBrusen, takes on the additional role of Minister for Nature. She takes on responsibility for national parks. All three ministers involved in this shuffle were first elected in 2015. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
And we heard from the Environment Minister today after BC's Premier had a change of heart over his objection to an Alberta pipeline going through his province. CTV's senior political correspondent Mike Lecouteur joins us now with the next steps on making that project a reality.
Do you support a pipeline?
Opposition MPs grilled the Environment Minister about a possible new pipeline from Alberta to the BC coast. But Julie DeBrusen says it's not only up to the federal government.
If the provinces and the Indigenous peoples are in agreement, that then there is a pathway to actually make that happen. But I am not
what
going
happen?
For a pipeline. But
Thank you.
While the federal government does have the jurisdiction over interprovincial pipelines, the minister says any project will have to involve all stakeholders.
There needs to be agreement from the province of British Columbia and of Indigenous peoples, and we are not going to override the jurisdiction of our provinces, and we're not going to override the rights of Indigenous rights holders.
The coastal First Nations are opposed to a pipeline going through their land in northwestern BC, but the route still isn't decided. The former head of Kinder Morgan Canada points out there is another path.
And the market should decide where that pipeline ends up. Like, is it Kitimat? Is it Prince Rupert? Is it Vancouver? Do we go back to Vancouver and build another pipe, along the existing Trans Mountain route, which is always an alternative?
On CTV's Question Period, BC Premier David Eby said he'd be willing to talk about a pipeline through his province if the tanker ban remains in place. In a statement, Premier Daniel Smith said, "I will also continue to engage with the Premier on the larger bitumen pipeline project to see what ideas he has on how we can ensure this project can proceed in a manner that benefits both Albertans and British Columbians."
And there is some time for that. Alberta has until July 1st to submit its pipeline application to the Federal Major Projects Office. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Layoffs at a major Ontario steel company. Coming up, tariff tensions now affecting livelihoods in Sault Ste. Marie.
It's time to build a toy mountain.
Make this holiday season merry for so many kids.
Bring new unwrapped toys to your local Canadian Tire.
All in support of the Salvation Army.
We'll be collecting donations from November 19th to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community.
Toy Mountain, supported by the Core Group, Goman's Appliances, and the Crack Specialists.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever.
Visit ctvkitchener.ca for more ways to donate.
A difficult day for 1,000 employees with Algoma Steel. They've been laid off. The company's being squeezed by President Donald Trump's 50% tariffs. The company is a huge exporter of steel to the U.S. and is feeling the pain. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on the Sault Ste. Marie company and how it was forced to go down this road.
This is a massive blow to the steel industry and specifically to 1,000 Algoma workers and their families. 1,000 layoff notices for a company that employs about 2,700 people in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. The company blamed U.S. tariffs for the layoffs, saying in a statement, "These tariffs have fundamentally altered the competitive landscape and sharply limited our ability to access the U.S. market." As a result of these pressures, Algoma has been forced to conclude its long history as an integrated steel manufacturer and close its blast furnace and coke-making operations in early 2026. Algoma will transition to electric arc furnace steelmaking at that time, a year earlier than previously anticipated or planned. Both the federal and provincial government took steps to try and reinforce the company. In September, Ottawa announced a $400 million loan, Ontario $100 million.
Our thoughts are with them. The Prime Minister looked them in the eye and promised he would protect their jobs, that he would negotiate a win, and I quote, have a deal by July 21st, but it was a bait and switch that is costing people their livelihoods.
My team and I have been in contact with Algoma's leadership team. We absolutely have every confidence in the Algoma workers as they're going through this hardship, and we will make sure that we support them as they're developing new products and also accessing new markets.
No specifics from the feds about how they will support them, while Ontario says it's launching a local centre for impacted workers, including retraining. The layoffs take effect in March of next year. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Time now to recap our top stories. Colton Weens joining us in studio with the latest, starting with a big closure and some changes in a busy part of Kitchener starting today.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. A portion of Frederick Street is now shut down. It's part of the demolition of the Frederick Street Bridge in Kitchener. It's part of the province's plan to build a new Highway 7 between Kitchener and Guelph. Frederick Street is closed between Ann Street and Edna Street and will remain closed until approximately next November. A longtime Waterloo Racquet Club is back after being gutted by a fire 2 years ago. The property owners say it cost upwards of $11 million to rebuild the former Greystone Racquet Club. It's now called the Club at Northfield with tennis, pickleball, and squash courts, and the space has been reimagined.
It's a good comeback story. And looking at what our digital team's working on, Colton, interesting story out of the Stratford area.
Very interesting, Tony. I don't really know how to describe it other than a drive-by cupping. Ontario Provincial Police say someone tossed a ceramic coffee mug at a passing vehicle west of Stratford. For more information on this story, including images of the incident and the vehicle the mug was tossed from, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Unusual.
Very.
And not a good idea.
No.
All right, Colton, thank you so much. CTV's Colton Weens joining us live. From raw lumber to handcrafted artistry, a Kitchener workshop is keeping traditional skills alive. On this week's Made Right Here, we head to a woodworking hub where hobbyists and pros turn ideas into handmade works of art.
I'm Margaret Shamandi. I'm the operations manager at Kitchener-Waterloo Woodworking and Craft Centre, and we're a nonprofit woodworking club with over 200 members, and the members range from skilled craftsmen to novice woodworkers. We have any woodworking machinery you might need. We have 4 saws, we have planers, jointers, saw stops, 4 lathes for turning. People here build anything from furniture for their houses, so that includes tables, beds, dressers, to games or boards, bowls. They make gifts for friends, they make things for themselves. The membership is open to anyone over 18 years, and it runs from January until December, and it costs $240 a month. We're open 6 days a week. Most of our members are retired, and they comprise the membership during the day. In the evening, we have a variety of young people that are still working. Since 2008, where I was the first female, we have probably 1/3 of our members are women right now. The 2 cities support us in part with our lease. That's both Kitchener and Waterloo. In return, we try to give back to the community. One way that we have of doing that is through our open house and charity sales. So we have 2 a year. The proceeds from those sales go to support the Women's Crisis Services in Waterloo and the food bank. The items are handcrafted and donated by our members, and they include anything from novelty items, kitchen utensils, furniture, cutting boards, bowls, and toys and games and puzzles. Our next sale is Saturday, December 6th from 10 till 2 here at the shop on Autonomy. I think it's important for people to come and take a look at the space, especially those that have newly retired or have some flexibility in their work schedule. It's not often that you can retire, join an organization, and then have exposure to 200 different people. from all walks of life. And then you can make acquaintances and friendships after retirement. It's an excellent social club, and it's very active, very supportive, and I love it here.
And a reminder, that charity sale that you heard about, that is this Saturday, December 6th, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the KW Woodworking and Craft Center, and that's located at 45 Otonabee Drive in Kitchener. So I'm sure they'd love to see you down there on Saturday. Honoring more local university football excellence. Coming up, CTV's Colton Weens introduces us to the UW assistant coach being recognized for fostering a commitment to get stronger.
Holiday set decoration provided by Royal City Nursery.
A University of Waterloo football coach is getting a major honor, winning the Ontario University Athletics Assistant Football Coach of the Year. But as CTV's Colton Weens tells us, his commitment to improvement spills over into everything he does.
There we go.
It's a weekly occurrence at Rob McMeeran's house in Waterloo. Linemen from the Warriors University football team lifting weights with their coach.
We got to get bigger and stronger. That's why the guys are out here lifting right now. We're with guys that we love. We love lifting weights. Our coach loves it too. We're building a better bond, better relationship. Yeah, we love it here.
McMeeran, who works in the university's shipping and receiving department, has been a volunteer on the Warriors football team for well over 2 decades. He was recognized for his efforts this year with the Ontario University Athletics Assistant Football Coach of the Year award.
Pretty big honor. I really appreciate it. You know, I've been at this a long time, and, you know, I'm not looking for accolades, but it's nice to be noticed for your work.
McMeeran isn't just some guy in Canadian football. He spent 5 years as a nose tackle with the Warriors, winning a Yates Cup in 1997, and was named an All-Canadian. McMeeran attended Hamilton Tiger Cats training camp and played pro football in France. He's also coached high school football for several years.
The kids are all great, so I just keep coming back because it's fun. It's a lot of fun for me. It's the way to keep competing without actually getting beat up on Saturdays. So
we think he's awesome, hard worker. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't ask for a greater coach. One of the reasons why we came to Waterloo.
But that's just the surface of McMeeran. He was an avid rugby player growing up and played lacrosse as a teen, a sport he returned to at the age of 30.
I stopped playing rugby because I had too many concussions, so I decided being a lacrosse fighter might be a good idea. So I played 1 year with the lacrosse team. I had to stop playing because I had too many concussions, really.
Despite one season with the Kitchener Kodiaks, McMeeran helped the team win a national championship in 2003.
My boss was one of the coaches. I tried out and I made the team and, you know, won a Canadian championship.
Equipped with some massive hands and still wanting to better his body and compete, McMeeran then discovered the sport of grip strength, picking up heavy metal and bending steel in his pastime.
I was the 105 champion for the Canadian Nationals last year, but in the North Americans, I was 7th. 2 years ago in North America.
This is all stuff that I've bent.
McMeeran says his wife and 2 daughters are also into the heavy lifting in the basement, a commitment to strength that spills over to everyone who knows him.
Strength-wise, I think also maturity-wise, he's a great coach, great person to model after. Overall, great dude.
Yeah, on and off the field.
Yeah.
Colton Weens, CTV News, Waterloo.
And time for a quick break, but first let's check in with Ashley.
Well, keep those shovels handy. We're looking like it's going to be a few more centimeters or so tonight, but I'll have more on what you can expect when you wake up coming up. Well, the weather outside is frightful. TV time can be delightful. Start your night off with Tracker, followed by St. Denis Medical at 8 p.m. 8:30, The Big Bang Theory, and 9 o'clock, The Voice. And finish your night off with The Weakest Link at 10.
Tonight, a severe blow triggered by the trade war.
It was a bait and switch.
We will make sure that we support them.
Why financial lifeline wasn't sufficient to stop mass layoffs at Algoma Steel. Later on CTV National News and live on Crave.
105.3 Virgin Radio is KW's #1 hit music station. Home of Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning. Listen to 105.3 Virgin Radio everywhere with the iHeartRadio app.
We're going to check in with Colton one more time. And I don't know how this happened, but we are all wearing slightly different shades of green today. And that includes Mr. Weens over in studio number 6.
Yeah, let's say it wasn't planned at all.
No,
but
it
Tony,
never is.
Tonight, Waterloo Regional Police will be going door to door in the student residential area of Waterloo. They'll be handing out door hangers with a focus on property crime prevention. CTV's Karis Mapp is covering this story for us tonight, and we'll have all the details at 11:30. I don't know if she'll be wearing green, though. Plus, in Cambridge tonight, the Preston tree lighting ceremony is happening in Central Park. Lights will go on at 7, followed by live music. Tony.
That sounds great, and there will be green there, guaranteed.
Yes.
Okay, Colton, thank you. It's true. You know, we never plan it. It just always happens this way. We don't call each other in the morning and say, what are you wearing today?
I do have a theory, though, about today. And I mean,
What's
we
that?
had a lot of white stuff fall over the weekend, a lot of white snow, which is beautiful and all, but maybe we were all channeling our inner spring a little bit with some greenery.
Not a bad. Let's go with that.
All right, let's take a look at what we're going to wake up to, Tony. As I mentioned earlier in the cast, scattered showers overnight continuing. Cooler temperatures is really the big thing at hand here. So you're going to want to bundle up and dress warm, but that sun may make an appearance starting around 8 a.m. Cooler temperatures continuing throughout that day and will continue to drop into tomorrow night. So we're not out of the woods yet for cold temperatures. However, we might have a little break in precipitation.
Yeah, I think we may have miles of woods ahead of us as far as cold temperatures go.
Absolutely, yes.
Feels like the season's really setting in. I noticed Mr. River loves it, though. He was out in the snow the other day.
That's true. River's my dog at home, and he's a half chow chow dog, which are mountain dogs, and loved it. So, yes.
Good time of year for them. So let's channel some of that positivity. We'll see you back here tonight at 11:30, right after the CTV National News. Have a good night.